So to everyone what they want to connect a non-OEM battery to a Fronius Gen 24 or CMO hybrid, so they can do like that. What they need is two different things, or maybe more if to make it more safe. It is one, it's a Raspberry Pi, like this one. The model it's very searched in the last time, so it's a little bit difficult to find it, and if you find it, maybe let's double or triple price. So Raspberry Pi 4B, 3B, as more giga and RAM you have, better it is. But at least Model 3, if it is. And RS USB to cable, RS 485. What I find out, I buy a couple of another one. What I have it over here, it's a CAN bus also. What it should be integrated over there into the Raspberry Pi, so it's not a USB. But I have the small problem to connect it, that things together. And I have also another one, RS 485. What it was not working, it's giving me an error. So it's two things, important things you needed. And of course maybe display to Raspberry Pi, or if you're good enough to connect that Raspberry Pi to SSH or remote desktop settings, you can do it as well. And another things what the miracle make, it's a Python. What you see now, it's remote desktop things. I use a TEM viewer, but you can use also any disk also through the Linux, if you have a Linux. So what you can see now, it is my Python, what it's running on it. And the Python, it's have a script from original battery, 11 kilowatts original battery. So what the Python make, it's running that script from the original battery through the RS 485 to believe the Fronius inverter he have original battery in. That script you can soon find in the description of that video. It's not me what I make that script, it's a guy from Finland what she get it out, and another guy from Sweden. We get and help each other and make to get it run, and we change the value, and that value is depends what kind of battery do you have it. In my case, I have a 320 400 volts, 300 when it's empty and 400 when it's full. So you need to change a couple of things over there. Of course, it's not a solution what I suggest to do to people what they don't know nothing about electricity and technical stuff. So if you don't know, don't touch it. I'm sorry, Fronius. I think this cover I already opened it 1,000 times. But like you can see, my battery from 84 kilowatts plus and minus is going to the relay. And like I told you, I make it to be a little bit double safer. So I put them a shunt. I have here a shunt, fuse, what you can also turn it down, and relay. That is a relay what it's communicated with that shunt. And in that shunt you can have a minimum and maximum charging power and voltage. So the shunts can shut down the battery if it's coming to the low voltage or to the high voltage. If the RS 485 gets, I don't know, some error or something like that. So if something wrong with the battery, it will shut down the fuse or maybe the contactor. And here I can also keep eyes how many how many kilowatts I charge or discharge. In this case, I discharge 2 kilowatts from the battery. The maximum, what I find it out, and that 10 kilowatts Fronius Gen 24, it is 8.4, but I'm still working on it, because before I get it with 5.5. What I find out when I change something in the script, some value, it was also changing the maximum power of it. So you can see, first time you need to remember, when I connect the RS 485, I put into the V plus and V minus, to the M0 plus and M0 minus. That is going to the boot battery or wherever you have it, non-OEM battery. I think this is possible to work with every battery, what it is between 150 and 400 or 500 volts that accept Fronius. So you can use it Nissan Leaf or Tesla Model S, put them in parallel or serial more to reach all that voltage, minimum voltage. You need to know the Fronius can start up with a battery from 150, if I remember well, that model. It can be different if you have another model, for example the Simo, I think it's a little bit higher. And it's going all the way up to 500 volts, the battery. So we're talking about a high voltage inverter. So what I figured out, it's not working with the ground, so I put them just the plus and the minus, and I change it where the normal it's going the smart meter to the M0 plus and minus, and the smart meter I change it to another side where it's going the M1 plus and M1 minus. In that case, to the smart meter I use also the ground, but to the battery with the RS 485 I don't use the ground, because I get the error with the Python. So in that case, just the plus and the minus to the USB converter. And after that, all the things you make the Python. You can see here it's running. And she also run, so you can, she read the sock, the state of charge. And you can see here the file, the mod sock. You have all that code, what each code it's mean, how much to charge, how much to discharge, the voltage, the watts, the cells, the degrees of the cells, and where to get the information and how to talk each other. And it is a couple of lines where you need to change in that script. It depends what battery do you have it. And that things, most of the things, they make a clever guy already. So it's actually plug and play stuff. It's not so much to do. So you can see here, in my case, the Fronius Gen 24, it's running, and it's get about 10 kilowatts from the grid, and a little bit it's going to the battery, or it's coming from the battery, and the rest is coming from the grid. And that time I choose to get everything from the grid, because in Denmark is the at 20:45 in the night, the energy is a little bit cheaper. So I choose it sometimes to charge the battery from the grid when the energy is cheaper, and after that discharge the battery when the energy is expensive. And that's, I think, it's a pretty good stuff. That things you can do it, and how it's called, and the technical settings, and yeah, you can do it in the technical settings. Over there you have a battery settings where you can change it when, and to make rules for the battery, when to charge and when to discharge. You can set up like you wish and when you wish. Another things what I have it here, it's a sun off, like maybe you already know it, the how it's called, the Fronius, sorry, the Fronius have a TCP connection, and I or Modbus connection, and I plan to connect that sun off and start some of the I don't know, like electrical heating system or a water heating system by electricity, or pump heatings through the sun off. So the surplus of the energy, now we don't have it because it's winter time, but the surplus of the energy when it is, so we will take that sun off and send it to each device what I want. Another clever thing it is that Watt Pilot, that's at a charging station, what you can adjust it to work with the surplus of the energy, or wherever you can make a lot of crazy settings, and she can go through the electric car when you want, and only with the surplus of the energy from the solar panel. The solar panel, what I have it, it's a 70 kilowatts and 1.7, and it's running almost off grid from the April month to the end of the October. So just to give you idea, and this one, it's a pretty piece of technology. You can do it. You can